ESL One Katowice Day 2 is underway. Here with me is another team that didn't make it to the playoffs, LGB's Poly. So, what are your feelings from yesterday's matches?
Well, we're obviously disappointed since we lost to Penta, who we beat earlier in the day. But we watched the VODs yesterday and we have we moved on, so we're over it now, I think, yeah.
Let's talk about the matches then. First off, you were up against Penta. It was really one-sided. So, is there anything you'd like to point out from the match? Why do you think you were that good on just 2 that time?
I don't know. We just played our game, and we knew that Penta is like an individual team. They play on aim and try to pick. So we were really prepared for that, and we held good angles. We had good setups. We started CT side, and we stomped them. So yeah, we felt really comfortable there, and the T side we only got to play like a few rounds, so yeah, it was a good match for us.
What about Envy? That was on the stage, and well, you weren't able to beat them. You weren't able to take the first spot. What do you think was the problem in that match? Why do you think Envy was able to outplay you?
Well, I think the biggest difference is the experience. They have been in this situation so many times, and we lost both pistol rounds, which is really bad for us because we're really dependent on twist rounds. And after that, there was some close rounds where we should have won actually, and it could have been a closer game. But we knew it's going to be hard, so we weren't that disappointed after losing that game because we knew we had one more chance against either Penta or Titan. So it was okay. It's a good experience, but as I said, they're like the top 2 team in the world, so we didn't have that big expectations for the game. But we knew we can beat them as well, so I don't know. Experience, I think, was the biggest issue.
So were you confident on Cash then? Were you confident going up against Envy on Cash?
Well, yeah, we're pretty confident on Cash. So we were like, it's not our best map, it's not the worst either. So it was okay for us. The map wasn't a big issue. I mean, know how they play and how to counter it. But I mean, yeah, they're really good players. So when we don't win the duels, then we're screwed.
Well, it kind of became a thing that every time 2 teams play up against each other for 2 times, then the team that won the first time is going to lose the second one. That was the case here as well. First off, how did you feel when you basically got to know that you were going to play Dust 2 once again? Did you feel comfortable with the map?
Well, yeah, obviously, when we beat them so hard the first time, we knew we could beat them again. But we were actually hoping for a different map because, as you say, if you face the same team on the same map twice in such a short amount of time, they're going to switch things up. They're not going to play the same way and get stumped again. So we're kind of like wondering how they were going to play, and we actually got to know that the first game Trouble was calling for them, and they switched up the calling for the last game. Crystal was calling, and he was also fragging like a madman. So. But I mean, the map was okay, so I think we should have won that game. But I don't know. I don't think it was nerves either. But yeah, they just hit much better then.
So did the switching callers make any part in that? Do you feel like they just made different calls? Do you feel like they reacted differently to certain situations? Did you notice something inside the match?
Yeah, definitely. We didn't change our CT play that much because we played really well the first time. So we figured that if we play our game, it's gonna go the same way. But they switched up their T side. They were much more aggressive, especially on short, on Dust 2. And they pushed us back to long, and they were like having good executes on long and stuff. So it was a very different game, and I don't know. I don't think we were prepared enough for playing 2 different styles.
What do you make of the 2 surprises of the tournament? KD, the Kimber Brazilians, and of course Penta now that beat Titan very comfortably, to say the least, on Cash, and then they beat you. So what do you make of those 2 results basically?
Well, they're obviously very good teams, very skilled, and I think it's really like healthy for the game that Kidstars managed to qualify or get through to the playoffs, because we need more teams from outside Europe and America to come into the scene and like bring it to the next level. So I'm happy about that. Penta as well is really strong individually, and they just changed players, just brought in Trouble. So if they get more time, I think they can be a really strong team.
What are you looking forward to in the future? Basically, what do you want to change for the next tournaments? What do you think? Where do you think lied the biggest problem? You said you talked about the games. So where do you think what do you think the problem was?
Well, as of now, we only have like one style to play on each map. Like we have our set CT side, and we have our set of T tactics. And if you want to compete on this level, you have to have more than like a plan A. You have to have a plan B, C, D even. Like so, I think we just have to work on our diversity in the game and try to try to bring more variety into our game and be better to adapting to what the enemies are doing.
What do you have in the future? What tournaments do you want to take part in?
We're going to Copenhagen Games in a few weeks from now, and we're also participating in the Face It League and some Norwegian online leagues as well. So we have a lot going on, and hopefully we'll qualify for some other big events like DreamHack Summer and ESL Cologne and stuff like that later in the summer.
All right, thank you. Do you have any last words? Shout-outs to fans?
Yeah, thank you a lot to everyone who's supporting us and to the guys or the fans that are here on the venue. It's really awesome to go around and like sign autographs, take pictures, talk with fans. It's really cool. So hopefully more people will come up to us and say hi.
All right, that was LGB from ESL One Katowice. We are still hoping to get some more teams, maybe those who didn't make it to playoffs, but also those that made it to bracket and the winners of the quarterfinals.